Love Where You Live, sponsored by Barnsley Council's Love Where You Live team. Wendy Ogley. Ever since her daughter died 25 years ago, Wendy's dedicated her time to keeping Carlton Cemetery, the graveyard in which she's buried, clean and tidy.
Because my daughter died, and my daughter grew up in a nice place for the 8 years she was with us, and I wanted to be in a nice place for the time she's going to be in that cemetery. So, and it's my way of spending quality time with her. People think I'm daft, but I get comfort of doing it. I have the odd criticism. I had one gentleman the other week asking me, "Oh, I must get a lot of money for doing it." And I says, "I don't get a penny." "Well, more fool you," he says. And I says, "Well, we're not all out to basically do it for money. We do it because we care. You know," and being there yesterday morning at 7:30 yesterday morning, it was cold. It was bitter cold. My hands were frozen, even with my gloves on. But I carried on, and at 5:10 I'd finished. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. And I get pleasure when people say thank you. I've been there, and I've been absolutely soaked straight through to the skin. And I'm green because of the dye from the grass. But I carry on, because I get pleasure of doing it. But yeah, it's hard. It's very hard. And I suffer with osteoarthritis arthritis. But I take my painkillers before I set off, and I go and do it. I just do it because I get pleasure of doing it. It's my way of spending quality time with a daughter I had for 8 years. And if you can say a cemetery's nice, it's one of the better ones. My son now has joined in when he can due to work commitments. Yeah, my grandchildren come, 8 of them, and they get pleasure for doing it. And they'll say, "Nana, if you're doing the cemetery this weekend, let us know, we'll come up."
Goldthorpe Railway Embankment Group. This group has turned a disused railway cutting in Goldthorpe that had become a fly-tipping hotspot into a green space by clearing out more than 40 skips worth of rubbish.
We started about 7 years ago now, and it was all because of from the BBC came down to do a piece on the fly tipping area of Goldthorpe that had been there for over 20 years, and it was at the bottom of an old railway bridge and an old railway cutting, and unfortunately people used it as a local tip, so therefore we had 20 years worth of rubbish. And the piece the BBC did was absolutely shocking. It portrayed Goldthorpe in a really bad way. Well, at that time we had a new council team came in under the leader of Claire Dawson, and she decided that this wasn't good enough for Goldthorpe and she wanted to change it. So she got groups of people together, she managed to get funders involved, and lots of us came along to try and help out with this. It was an absolute stinking mess. You couldn't imagine what it was like after 20 years of fly tipping. So we had Network Rail, of course they owned the site, so they came along to help us as well. And over the next year or so we cleared almost 40 skips worth of rubbish out of the site and managed to get that cleared away. Then Claire worked with the Sheffield University. They came along to do a lot of work on the actual what we could do with the site, how to change it into a wildlife park and a community space rather than just an old straight railway line. So we managed to draw plans up. We got teams together to work, and eventually we got the earthworks done, and it turned then from this old railway track into like a wildlife reserve and places where people can come now and enjoy it. So it's quite an entirely different area you know, than what it used to be. It's quite amazing now, and it transformed the place. We had roadworks, earthworks done. We managed to get some more funding, because all this had to be done with funding. We had to go out and get funders to come and support us, and then finally we managed to get the footpaths done, and it's really nice. So from a fly-tipped, terrible environment, we've turned it into a bit of a community space, and something that's really nice for people to come round and enjoy. And so from one extreme, last week we were invited to your town hall, and we received a Yorkshire in Bloom Platinum Award for the place. So from one extreme to the other.
Autism allotments. Run by Michael and Paul Atwell-Bryce, the loving dads of autistic twins, the allotment provides a safe and welcoming space for individuals with additional needs.
So we set up the autism allotment in February this year. Our older two boys are autistic, and we just wanted a space where it's safe, accessible, inclusive, and just somewhere where families and young people could go.
We wanted to create an adult space that was safe for everybody, regardless of everybody's disability or special educational needs. A place where people could just be themselves and accepted, where everybody saw the ability, not the disability. So the response has been amazing by local people within the community. The community have really got behind this project.
Barnsley people are the best, aren't they, for things like this. We've always found when we've done things before, they're really supportive, from like making donations or volunteering, jumping on board, being involved. They're really engaging, aren't they, in projects like this.
This is not a Paul and Michael Atwell-Bryce project. This is a project for the community. And to have so many people involved in that, people coming forward as volunteers, local companies as well, to make the place accessible, and to see that there is a need for this, to volunteer and to donate their materials and their work. It's just been phenomenal. It's been a great success, and it's been a pleasure to be part of it.
So it's just been quite busy, quite fast. So we have like schools down in the week, then we have as volunteer day, we have as parent support group. So we want to do a bit more. So other families were saying, are their children or adults welcome with different disabilities, which they are. Obviously we named it the autism allotment, so now we've got the accessible allotments, another 2 plots that we want to have like workshops on, so people with disabilities or learning needs can like build bird boxes, plant seeds, grow stuff and sell it, and like learn volunteering skills and work skills and socialising skills, which is what we're kind of doing at the moment, but we're just branching out a little bit further to cater for more different disabilities.
And I think what's great for us is this whole idea and concept started here in Barnsley, and as we expand, we're now working with educational settings, big charities as well, where they want the autism allotments to come to them as well. And you know, the home of this project is Barnsley and the Barnsley people.
I know a lot of local companies, aren't we, like the ASOS Factory volunteering, Barnsley Homes, Yorkshire Water now are jumping on board, so lots of like big companies are like helping out, which hopefully will help us get the next 2 plots done like quite fast as well.